Hi everyone, it's Mrs. Wine. Welcome back to art class. Today we're going to be learning how to create our background for our Paul Klee inspired self-portrait. So today you will be creating a background, and you'll notice in some of these examples that I'm showing you, some of the lines go across and some of the lines of color go vertically up and down. We've already started that process with our glazed background. So this is the first thing you will need. You will need both of your background sheets that you've created your painted glazes on, and you will need a final paper. In addition, you will need glue stick and you will need scissors. So the first thing we want to do is we want to start by cutting some of this paper into strips. It doesn't matter which way they go. So I could cut across the direction that I painted. I don't have to make all my paper the same. I could make some of the strips thicker. I could make some of the strips thinner. I do want to try to cut them as straight as I possibly can. It's not necessary that I go to all the trouble of drawing a straight line with a ruler, but I do want to make sure that my edges are nice and straight. I could also take some of my edges, and instead of cutting across, I could cut some of those so that they go the same direction as my stripes. The nice thing about this is you really have more paper than you're going to need. So if you have any areas of your painting where the paint bled or it's a little uneven and you don't like how it looks, I'm noticing on this one there's a little water spot here, then I don't have to use that section. I can just use the pieces that I like. I can also take my paper, and once I have some long strips, I can certainly take the paper and I can cut some shorter strips. And same thing, if I notice there's an area I don't like, then I don't have to use that paper. So I probably don't want to cut everything up to start with. As long as I have a few sheets in a few shapes and sizes, I will be in good shape. So I'm going to save these two large pieces. I'm going to set them aside. And now I'm ready to start taking these pieces and gluing some of them together. So what I like to do is I'm going to open up my glue stick, twist it up just a little bit. I'm going to turn this paper vertically so you can see it just a little better. And then I'm ready to start gluing. So I know that some of these pieces are going to be long enough that they're going to stretch from one edge to the other. I want to make sure I don't leave any white paper showing, so if anything I want to go off the edge, I can always trim that up later. And I'm just going to start by making sure I cover the entire back of the paper with glue stick. And then I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to glue it down. And I want to make sure that I glue some of these papers going on vertically. But I could also glue some of those papers so that they're going across. What I definitely don't want to do is I don't want to have anything that resembles a pattern on here. So if I know that I need some shorter pieces, I can start to glue some of those in. It's fine if they overlap. In fact, I do want them to start to overlap. I'll put some wipes at your table so as tables start to get messy, it'll be easy to deal with. If I have a really large piece that hangs off the edge, I can go ahead and I can take my scissors. I don't have to trim it exactly, but I don't want any super long pieces. And that's really pretty much it. I'm just going to keep going with this paper, making sure that I continue to work until my whole page is covered. Once my whole page is covered, I'm finished for the week and I'm ready to get started with my drawing part, which will come next week. Make sure, rather than leaving a little bit of white space, if you need to, that you overlap the paper so that we don't have any white paper showing. Once your whole page is covered, the last step you need to do is make sure you trim off any of those edges. Remember, they don't have to be perfect. I can trim them a little tighter on the paper cutter, and it is important that you make sure that you don't have any loose edges so it'll be easy for you to draw on top of next week. I can't wait to see what your finished glazed collage piece looks like. And until next time, keep on creating.